right? Say 3 Ohms, Ganapati Pratna, and Guru Dhyana Mantra. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananan Tva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamubhamasravasthamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashunvannotibi Siddhasadanam Om Mahaganapataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebirvajinivati Dhinamamitrayavatho Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Gurave Sarvalokanam, Visaje Bhavaroginaha Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Sri Dakshinamurthaye Namaha Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Narayanarphanamastu. Welcome to week 3 of our series, The Basic Understanding of Hinduism. First week we looked at some background that relates to so-called the religion. But as I explained to you, it's more a way of life, or Sanatana Dharma, eternal righteousness. And in the second week, last Sunday, we looked at Lord Ganesha, his form, his figure, his significance, his attributes, his characteristics, and how to worship him. We also looked at the Mula Mantra, which is a one-liner, and the Gayatri Mantra, which is a 3-liner. Today, we are moving on to his brother, Lord Subramanya, or Lord Muruga, or Kartikeya, or Skanda, or Vela, or Guha. So many names. So let's start by looking at Lord Muruga. So in most temples, you will see this is the iconography or the picture that will relate to Lord Muruga. As I said to you in the first week, these forms are all different forms of energy, right? So different forms of energy obviously will have different types of attributes, different characteristics. In your own family, your father, your mother, your brothers, your sisters, then your father's side, then your mother's side. One family, but they are all different, isn't it? You will always like one uncle and not like another uncle because of something. You will always like one auntie and not like another auntie because of something. But they all belong to the same family. They come from the same roots. It's called genes, right? So if you trace your DNA, you can trace back to your roots. But these people have no genes. They have no roots because they are forms of energy. As I said to you, at the superconscious level, they don't have a form. They are called nit guna. That means without a form. At a conscious level, they have a form. It's called Sat Guna. So by worshipping the form, the motive is to go to the formless. Do you understand? So you study in a university for 3 years. The motive is to get a degree in engineering or in architecture, in law, in medicine, whatever the case may be. And then you do something else. Right? So the worship of all these gods and goddesses, you must have a single motive or single intention, that is to take you further. So from here, from point A to point B, and once you reach point B, what next? You have to go to point C. Then when you go to point C, what next? You know, of course the ultimate is, what is the ultimate? If there is something you want to achieve in this birth, knowing that the Hindu believes in karma, right? And they say the karma that you do, your actions will determine what happens to you in future. And of course, what happens to you in future basically means you will be reborn, rebirth, punarjanmaha, right? So you do good, they say you might not be born. You do bad, they say you might be born. So if you have an intention, what would that intention be? If you were to take a sankalpa, an undertaking, you know, before puja and all, we do sankalpa, isn't it? The sankalpa means undertaking, why you are doing it and what you hope to achieve as a result of you doing it. So if you had one undertaking in this life, what would that be? Yes, sir. Okay, gaining moksha. Okay, moksha, mukti means liberation. That means no more birth. No more birth. Everybody same, or some have other intentions? I want to be born as a king and enjoy Raja Bhoga Valkai. So if you have an intention, then that intention should be, let me not experience another birth. And if I am not going to experience another birth, then I should only experience one death. And that is in this life. So we don't know when we are going to go. Nobody knows, right? But it is certain. Two things in life is certain. One is tax, the other is death. Everything else is uncertain, right? But these two things are certain. It will happen at a time when you least expect it. Therefore, every day is an opportunity for us to prepare, to live a better life than yesterday. Today a better life, and tomorrow an even better life. Better life means not necessarily you live a better life, but you have made someone else's life better. Nishkama karma, right? Selfless service. So when you help other people without enriching yourself, that is a spiritual path in its own right. It's called karma yoga, right? If you believe in going to temples, going all these tirtha yagas and all these, temple worship and all that, that is bhakti yoga. If, like me, you want to go around spreading the good word, that is jnana yoga. Or if you believe in yoga sastras and you want to become, someone in doing meditation, dhyana, that is called dhyana yoga. These are 4 paths that Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, right? Bhakti yoga, path of bhakti or devotion. Jnana yoga, path of knowledge. Karma yoga, which is path of action. And dhyana yoga, which is path of meditation. Sometimes they say Raja yoga. Raja yoga and Jnana yoga and dhyana yoga is the same. Okay. So let us look at how this form of energy known as Lord Muruga or Subramanya or Kartikeya or Skanda or Shanmugha plays a role in our life in terms of making it better, improving it, and giving us the 6th sense, because we have 5 senses, right? You pray to Muruga, he will give you a 6th sense. That's why he's got 6 heads. Okay, so look at the form and see what he holds. He holds a lance. His vahana is the peacock or mayura or mail, and you will always see the mail stepping on a cobra. I'll explain what that means, right? It's not just somebody painted. You will always see the mayil or the mayura, the peacock, stepping on a cobra. The cobra is not independent. It's being stepped on. Okay, we'll come to that. Firstly, let's look at the birth. If you are an avid reader, you will discover that when you read different versions of Vedic scriptures, there are different accounts. There are different ways in which people deliver information or messages. You understand? The same teacher teaching the same subject will not say the same thing as the other teacher. But the intention is to deliver the aim of the lesson, right? So, there are many versions. I've just picked 3 most common versions you will find. Depends on what you're reading. But the aim is to prove that Lord Muruga was born. Yeah? So, with that understanding, the first is, you must understand when you talk about birth, human birth is different from divine birth. If you look at all the births, with the exception of the 3 Murtis, right? Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they have no birth, they have no death. So, from the conjoined energy of, for example, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, you got Lord Muruga. From Parvati and then Lord Shiva, you have Lord Ganesh. And then from Vishnu and Lord Shiva, you have which god? Swami Ayyappan, right? All these births, and of course Vishnu's Dashavatar, the 10 incarnations, all of these have one single aim, and the aim is what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. Yada yada hi dharmasya glahinit bhavati bharatha abhyutthanam madharmasya tathatmanam srajamyaham paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya chatuskritam dharma samsthavanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever there is a decline of righteousness and an increase of unrighteousness, I will be born again and again in different forms. Why? To decrease the unrighteousness and increase righteousness. That is why the Hinduism is called Sanatana Dharma. Eternal righteousness. Someone somewhere will always come to balance. That is why the most powerful thing in this world is nature. No matter how clever you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter how powerful you are, can you stop the rain from falling? Can you stop the sea from rising? Can you stop the wind from blowing? Can you stop the sun from rising a day? No, you can't. So we are all powerless against nature, right? So that's why they say when you are one with nature, and that's where meditation comes. You are supposed to be one physically, mindfully and spiritually with nature. That is called Traikarana Suddhi, right? So you are one with nature, therefore you and nature can work hand in hand. Then everything is balanced. We are uneasy, we are unrested, we are not at peace because there is no balance of the energy, right? So your body has to have certain number of red platelets and certain number of white platelets, right? So you'll have a disease when one is high and the other is low, or the other is low and the one is high, correct? Balance is not there. So the idea is to inject the balance. Okay? So, and the other thing you must see is, all the devas, you know, like Indra, the Navagraha Devatas, all the devas, they never get any boons. You never hear of Ganesha meditating and then Brahma coming and say, yeah, Kinchita, what do you want? You never see Murugan meditating and then Vishnu appearing and say, what do you want, and bless him. Who are the ones who are always meditating for boons? Varam. Only the Asuras. All the Asuras, they know the only way to be powerful is to get the boon from Brahma, Vishnu. Right? Because Vishnu and Shiva are very busy with their daily duties. You know, they have a full-time job. Brahma has no job. His job is only to create. So it's easier to worship him and procure him. So all the Asuras will worship Brahma, and finally Brahma will appear and then he say, what do you want? And he will give the boon, Tathastu. tat astu. May you achieve that. So all the asuras have got powers like that. And each time they'll ask for a power which they can defeat God, or these powers, these energies. You see, if you hear of in Hiranyakashipu, King Hiranyakashipu, we are looking at the fourth incarnation of Lord Vishnu in the Dashavataram, where he becomes Narasimha, right? Now, what did Hiranyakashipu ask for? His boon. And these asuras are very, very clever. They don't ask for simply give me 10 million pounds. They don't ask for these kind of things. They will ask for something that to their mind is indefeasible. The person who's receiving or the person who's giving knows that something else can be done also. The giver, isn't it? So the giver always has no problem in giving because they know there's another way to stop it. But the recipient will think, I've got the best. So Hiranyakashipu, after many years of tapasya, Brahma appeared and he says, what do you want? And he says, I want to be the ruler of the three worlds. I cannot be defeated by any devas or any devis or a combination of any devas and devis. I cannot be killed inside or outside. I cannot be killed in the daytime or night time. I cannot be killed by a man or an animal. Oh my God, the list was watertight, if you know what I mean. Brahma said, Tathastu. But how was he killed? Was it a man? No. Was it an animal? No. It was a mix of man and animal. Was he killed inside? No. Was he killed outside? No. He was killed on the doorway. You know why when you go to temples there is a stone that you have to cross over? Actually you cannot step on that, you have to cross over. Because that is to remind you that God resides in all the places. Down, up, side, top, bottom, everywhere. Right? So you will see many people, they will cross over. That is to remind you that even at that point, God came and did Dvamsam. He was not killed inside, was not killed. What time was he killed? Was it daytime? Was it nighttime? No, it was twilight. So if we think we are smart, then our Creator must be far more smarter than us. So all these asuras, when they get the boons, so like this case, this guy, Surapatman, I had two brothers, Simhamukha and Tarakasura. That's why if you look at Murugan's 108 names, the Ashtotra Shatanamavali, right? Every god will have 108 names. 108 not to make our life more difficult, to make it easier. That is 108 names, call me any name you want, I'll come to you. Finish, right? So you don't have to remember a specific name. One of his names is Om Tarakasura Samharaya Namaha. If you look at Durga, one of her names is Om Mahishasura Madhinyai Namaha. So one who had vanquished Mahishasura. Maha Isha Asura. That means one at the Asuric level is comparable to Lord Shiva. So these guys got the boon that they must be ruled. They must rule the three lokas. Bhuloka, Bhuvaloka, Suvaloka. So in this physical body itself, these three lokas exist. Bhuloka is the physical self. Bhuvaloka is the mind, subconsciousness. And Suvaloka is the superconsciousness. So conscious, subconscious, superconscious. Physical, mind, spiritual, like that. Three realms. Right? So Brahma said, okay. Then of course they started to go and they terrorized. Oh, and they said, we can only be killed by Shiva's son. Shiva is a brahmachari, if you go back to the times, right? I mean, again, from a Vedic scripture, even in the Mahabharata, Murugan is referred to as having existed, right? So Rama went to worship him at one point before going to, and Krishna also stopped at 1 or 2 points to worship Lord Muruga. That is why if you look at Krishna's Ashtotra Shatanamavali, Narayana's Ashtotram, 108 names, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 91 or 92 is Om Skandaya Namaha. But Vishnu is saying, I am also known as Skanda. Anyway, so they terrorize, of course, to his mind, to the Asura's mind, Shiva is not going to get married and have a son who will come and kill me, right? So that is why he said, I can only be killed by the seed from Lord Shiva, which becomes a son. Very clever, right? Anyway, so that happened, and then they started to terrorize the three worlds. The first thing they'll do is they always take over Indraloka, because that is where you can live in complete opulence. You know, wealth means, unseen like wealth is over there. Indra enjoys that. So they first go and control that. They've already controlled Bhuloka, and then Suvaloka. So of course, all the devas were not very happy. So they ran to Brahma. Brahma said, I am the boon giver, I cannot retract it. Please go to Vishnu or Shiva. They went to Vishnu. Vishnu said, I can't do anything because, they said, only through Shiva's son they can be destroyed. So I can't do anything. I'm powerless. You have to go to Shiva and ask him to get married. They went to Shiva and Shiva said, no way. And this was before the story of Parvati and all that. Some of these things were shown, in the TV they have this Devo Ke Devo Mahadev. You see some of these, but those series are all commercialized. So they inject a lot of things, inject a lot of commercial value to sell it, right? But from a Vedic or spiritual perspective, some of the things there are true, some are obviously made up. So anyway, one story of how Lord Murugan was born is, Shiva said, I can create a son, but you will have to bear the consequences of that creation, because it will be very powerful. It will be a combination of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Through my third eye, I will bring out the energy. So from his third eye came an energy, and the moment it dropped in the lake was called Saravana, right? That's why one of his name is Saravana Baba. One became devised as six droplets, and 6 droplets became the 6 babies, as you see there. And the 6 ladies that you see there, they are called Kritikas, right? Kritika Devis. That is why on Kartikai Nakshatram, the Kartikai Devis are worshipped, because they were the keepers of Lord Muruga when he was born like that. So they collected the 6, and then of course, subsequently when they presented to it, Lord Shiva, and Parvati Devi was already in the scene sometime later, right? She took all 6 and held it close to her bosom, and 6 became one, right? So that is one story of how he was born. The other is Lord Agni, Agni Deva. See, in the Rig Veda, Murugan is referred to as Agni Bhu. That means one who is born of Agni, one who is the product of Agni. Agni and Swaha is Agni's wife. That is why when you do Omam, you do Swaha. You worship the fire and the fire's Shakti, force and energy, like that, right? And of course, Agni, apparently, this is an interpretation, right? But again, you should not focus so much on the interpretation, but the aim. The aim is to establish the birth of Lord Murugan. So, if the means justify the ends, as they say. So focus on the end result, not how come, like that. Okay. Agni, apparently, when he saw the wives of the Saptarishis, he had a lustful look against them. Now, in those days, even looking with lust is as bad as committing the act, right? As a result of which, when his wife Swaha saw that, she said, okay, I will come to you in their form. So she came to him in each form of the Saptarishi's wife. And as a result of that, 6 offsprings were born in the same way. Kritikas looked after him and so on. And then of course, the other most common, which I picked off the net, right? The net will tell you 101 things. From the 101 things, maybe half is true, right? Because a lot of people put lots of stuff on the net. So don't believe everything you read. Do your own research and find out. Once when Shiva and Parvati were together, apparently, right, in the course of being close to one another, one of Shiva's feet fell into Gange and broke into 6. And the force of that was so hot, because of the force of the energy, that Ganga couldn't manage to hold him. So she moved him through her force to the lake Saravana, where obviously those seeds became 6 babies. 6 babies were taken by Kritikas. But what is common in all three is, in all 3 stories, the Kritika Devis took 6 babies. So that part is common. Although there's difference in the story, that part is common. So we know there is 6. That is why, because he was found in the Gange, he is called Gangeya. One of his names is Gangeya. Okay, so let us now look at his many names. So he was actually born for what reason? Destroy the evil in the form of Surapatman, Tarakasuran and Simhasuran, right? It's another brother as well there, another Gajamuga, right? Gajamuga Asura, he looks like Ganesh, right? That means Maya, basically. Gajamuga Asura represents Maya. So Maya can come to you in many forms, but it will come to you in the form that will attract you most. Now, what will attract you is different, what will attract you is different, what will attract him is different, what will attract him is different. Therefore, I come to her in the form that will attract her. I come to you in the form that will attract you, and so on and so forth. That is Maya. We live in a world of Maya. Anyway, so let us look at, so we know why he was born. Now let us look at the different names. Now we know the 3 Murtis exist. Brahma represents the creative energy, right? Vishnu represents the sustaining energy, and Shiva represents the destructive energy. Now destruction here, not in the physical sense, you break something or you destroy something, right? Creative energy means creating good things, good thoughts, good words, good actions. Sustaining means what is created that is good is sustained. And destruction is what is not good, good thought, what is not good word, what is not good action, is destroyed by Lord Shiva. That is the aspect of the 3 Murtis in your daily life. Now, if you see, this is called Shristi, Sthiti and Samharam, right? Creation, sustenance and destruction. So if you look at the word Muruga, Muruka represents the 3 Murtis. Okay, this is something new that you probably are. You see, Sthiti, Vishnu, is represented by the word Mu, right? And Samharam is Ru, as in Rudra. Mu as in Mukunda or Madhava. And Srishti Brahma as in Gamana. Gamana is another name for Lord Brahma, means creation. He who creates. So the word Muruga in itself tells you it is a combination of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So when you say Om Muruga, you are praying to all the 3 in the form of Murugan, right? So it's a very powerful mantra in its own right, Om Muruga. If you say Namaha, then it's complete, right? Shanmukha, another powerful name. Shan means 6, Mukha means face. So 6 faces, right? And what does that mean? You see, I put the first 5 faces equals the 5 elements of the 5 Panchabhutas, right? And the 6th phase is the energy behind the creative elements. So how powerful the 6 faces, right? That it had to be carried by Agni down. Ganga couldn't sustain it. Ganga is complete water, right? And water could not sustain the heat of the seed. It had to be brought and placed in the lake of the Saravana. Phase 1 fulfills the desires of devotee. Ekamukham, Dvaimukham, Traimukham, Chaturmukham, Panchamukham, Shaktamukham. 6 faces. So each face gives you something. So when you pray to Muruga, you must pray. Even if you see one face, you can say all these things and you will get it. Right? Phase 1 fulfills the desires of devotees. Phase 2 removes ignorance. Ignorance is ajnana. From ajnana you move to jnana, right? From advaitam to dvaitam? No, from dvaitam to advaitam. Dvaitam is pluralistic way of life to become a singularistic way of life. Okay. Phase 3 brings out the inner success. If you listen to Kanda Shashti, it tells you about all this. Phase 4 gives strength and inspiration to worship or complete or perform the rites and rituals. Phase 5 protects the good and punishes the bad. Protects the good and punishes the bad means not will keep you well and destroy your people you don't like. You must relate everything to your own self. Internalize everything. So protect the good means everything that is good in you, he will protect. And everything that is bad in you, he will destroy. So you can't tell your friends you don't like it, don't play with me, I'll send Murugan to destroy you. I'll send his 4th phase or 5th phase. Phase number 5, go and destroy like that. Right? Phase number 6 is very important. Gives unconditional love. Unconditional love for the divine. You know, when you say that I love God unconditionally, you must understand that you can only say that if you also can love His creation unconditionally. So there is no limit to the way I love God. That means there is no limit to the way you can serve His people. Then you can say I love God unconditionally. You cannot put conditions on who you will like, who you will help, who you will serve, who you will love, and then say I love God unconditionally. Because if you cannot serve the walking gods and the talking gods, these gods are not interested in you. Right? Jana Seva is Janardhana Seva. Makkal Seva, Maheshwaran Seva, like that. So, if you serve His people, His creation, when I say His people, I mean, you know, if a Christian brother or a Muslim brother is in trouble, you also help them. You don't say, I only help Hindus. Because he talks about creation. He doesn't talk about Hindu creation. Do you understand? Don't worry about what other religions say. You follow your religion. Anybody asks, you say, my religion says help fellow human beings. You are a fellow human being? Yes, unless you're an alien, then I won't help you. But fellow human being, I am able to help. You know, if everybody, we start behaving like that, how fantastic will it be? We don't need outside help at all. We ourselves can cure our own illnesses like that. You know, so the next time you say Shanmugha, you just imagine all this meaning. And then you can pray. Next time you go and say, now when you pray in front of Ganapati, you should know how to pray. Because I told you what to pray for last week. You look at each part of his hands, his stomach, his head, his eyes, broken tusk, his trunk, everything you can pray for yourself. Big head, give me lateral thinking. Big ears, give me the power to listen and ward off gossip and bad things that does not apply to me. Small mouth, let me talk less, listen more. You got Ankusha, that means guide me in the right path. You got Pashak Kair, rope me if I take the wrong way. This is how you should pray. Not Lord, today is Tuesday, Euro Millions is on. Please show me only 6 numbers I asked. Guhan. Guha means cave. So Guhan means one who stays in the cave. Now, what does a cave have to do with Murugan? The cave there refers to this cave here. Your heart is like a cave. So he is the cave dweller. He is the indweller of the heart that is a cave in your body. So pray to him and come and, as I said to you, Pradishtapana Bahim. If you worship the veil, put the veil there so it's looking outward. And then bring the same veil and put it here in your Ajna Chakra facing inwards. If you put his form outwards in the heart, Anahata Chakra. Inwards in the Ajna Chakra. Right? And last week I told you Ganapati is the presiding deity for which chakra in your body? Mooladhara Chakra. Mooladhara Chakra. Right? If you want evidence of that, there's evidence in the Rig Veda. And one of the famous, most often cited stotras for Lord Ganapati is Atharva Shirsham. Atharva is a sage, Rishi Atharva. Shirsham means one who has seen. So this sage Atharvan, when he recited this, Lord Ganapati appeared before him. And therefore what he recited at that time when Ganapati appeared is known as Atharva Shirsham, which is said in all the temples when Ganapati Abhishekam is going on or sometimes when the puja is going on. So one of the lines in that Atharva Shirsham is Tvam you mooladharasthito si nityam. Tvam mooladharasthito si nityam. You are the presiding deity of the Mooladhara Chakra. And last week I told you his big stomach represents the entire cosmos that is contained within it. Again the Atharva Shirsham says Tvam Brahmastvam Vishnustvam Rudrastvam Indrastvam Agnistvam Vayustvam Suryastvam Chandramastvam Brahma Bhut Bhuva Suvarom. If he is reciting this and Ganapati came in front of him, then it's just like Arunagiri. It's just like what's his name? Arunagiri. The other one is a famous. You told me his name earlier. Huh? Pattinatthar also one. Kripananda Varya. These people have seen him in real life. And Kripananda Varya is our time. Huh? So, these energies, that's why I say they are energies. So they can appear, reappear and disappear. It depends when and where they want to show themselves. Right? Someone asked me, hey brother, this Babaji they are talking about, is it true? Does he come and go? I said, I know, you call him. If he comes, then tell me, then I'll start calling him. So why do you worry whether it's true or not? You do the thing and see whether it comes or not. Why do you want to worry whether? So unnecessary. Anyway, so that is Guha. Kartikeya, the Kritikas, one who keeps the stars. That means the constellation, entire constellation in his keep. Murugan. Kartikeya also means giver of courage and happiness. Skanda, one who leaps out in forms of energy, right? Anda also in Sanskrit means the end. So Vedantam, Ved means knowledge, Antam means end. So the end cycle of knowledge is Vedantam, the Vedas. Right? So Skanda means the beginning and the end, the complete cycle. And from the cycle, he has the capacity to leap out and then come back. Skanda, very powerful. Okay. Subramanya, Su means one who has the capacity. Brahmanya means one who has understood the concept of Brahman. Brahman, Brahma and Brahmam are three different things. Brahman is supreme. Brahma is Lord Brahma, is one of the three murtis. Brahman means non-existent. Like you say Shivam and Shavam. Shivam means life, force. Shavam means death. Right? So that is why pronouncing it in the right way is important, because the words you say creates the energy. And that energy is what will circulate and create the ambience. So Subramanya is one who has realized Brahman.
சுப்பிரமணியா பாடுங்க தூக்கம். சுப்பிரமணியம் சுப்பிரமணியம் பாடுங்க தூக்கம்.
So,
இருக்கு.
so we'll stop for 2 minutes and sing this bhajan. So
No,
that
you are going to
everybody.
sing. I am not singing. You are going to sing.
Huh?
You are going to sing. I am not going to sing.
Yeah. I take very justified risks. Anyway,
You play that. I will play one.
Subramanyam Subramanyam Shanmuganada Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganada Subramanyam Subramanyam Hara Hara Subramanyam Hara Hara Shiva Shiva Subramanyam Shiva Shiva Hara Hara Subramanyam Hara Hara Shiva Shiva Subramanyam Shiva Saravana Baba Subramanyam Guru Saravana Baba Subramanyam Guru Saravana Baba Subramanyam Shiva Saravana Baba Subramanyam Guru Saravana Baba Shiva Saravana Baba Subramanyam 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 Shanmuganada Subramanyam Subramanyam, Subramanyam, Shanmuganada, Subramanyam. Shiva, 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 Subramanyam, Hara, 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 Subramanyam. Hara, 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 Subramanyam, Hara, Hara, Shiva, Saravana, Baba, Subramanyam, Saravana, Baba, Subramanyam, Saravana, Baba, Subramanyam. Shiva Saravana Baba Subramanyam Guru Saravana Baba Subramanyam. So now everybody is awake. So thank you for the suggestion. So Subramanya is that. Velan means one who holds the veil. Now I'll come to the meaning of the veil. Right? It's superb, the meaning of the veil. And of course Kumara, he's also called Kumara. One who is eternally young. Just like Babaji, right? Eternally young. You see, when you are an energy, you don't relate to the concept of age. You don't relate to the physical attributes of normal human beings. So there is no age for these energies. They exist through all the yugas, right? And Deva Senapati. Senapati is army. Deva means the chief, right? And of course, Murugan led the army to destroy the 3 Asuras. Surapatman, Simhasuran, Gajamukha Asuran and Taraka Asuran. Right? Mainly Taraka Asuran. But because he came to destroy Taraka Asuran, he said buy one get 3 free. He came to destroy Taraka Asura, he destroyed Surapatman and his 2 other brothers as well. Okay. Now, let's talk about the symbols. Veil. The shape of the veil. How does the veil look at the top there, you see? See here? See this? So it's sharp at the top, and then it comes down like that, very broad, and then long stem going down. The sharpness of the veil, that sharpness is intellect, buddhi. Buddhi should always be sharp. Sometimes you hear people say, that fellow is a sharp fellow, It's buddhi, very sharp. So that part where it's broad like that, just like Ganesha's head, broad-mindedness, lateral thinking, tolerance, patience, that is the broadness. And then it comes as one long stem, that is the depth of character. So, if you are a person whose intellect is stable, who is broad-minded, tolerant, patient, and you've got deep character, then Murugan will hold you as his weapon. How fantastic is that? It's not asking you for anything more. What you are very capable of achieving is what he's asking. You want to be the whale in my hand? Then be sharp, become intellect, become knowledgeable, become more tolerant, become more patient, become more broad-minded. Help ever, serve ever. And show that you have depth of character. Just because someone shouts at you, you don't shout back. Don't become like them, then you are no different than them. Why do you accept it? It only becomes you if you accept it. So if I'm giving my phone to little Sanjana here, it's my phone, but I want to give it away. It's still mine, right? Why is it mine? Why is it still mine?
You are paying the bill.
No. See, you're thinking of money only. It's mine because she has not taken it from me. Sanjana, just take it from me. Give it back afterwards. Now she has taken it from me. It's no longer mine. It has become her responsibility now. So in life, very easily, right, it's down to you. If you accept it, then you have to deal with it. If you don't accept it, you don't have to deal with it. Right? It's a story of Buddha. Once he was walking with his people, and he went to one house, and his people were walking with him for so long, and they were hungry and thirsty. So he knocked on the door, and he said, Bhiksham Dehi. Bhiksham Dehi means give me some Bhiksha. Or what we say in Tamil, Pichai. Right? Give some fruits and some water to my people. Now that man of the household was a divan who was very arrogant and all that. So he shouted at Buddha. For 10 minutes he shouted, you are a waste of space, you are a parasite of the society, you are this, you are that, you are useless, you are spoiling everybody's life. After 10 minutes, is what we call verbal diarrhea. Right? After 10 minutes, Buddha slowly said, sir, have you finished speaking? And the man said, yes, I have no time to waste with you. Sir, I have one request. He said, what? Don't waste my time, quick. He said, if you were to give me a gift and I were to refuse it, what would become of that gift? The man said, are you stupid? If you don't want it, I'll take it back. Then he said, everything you've given me in the last 10 minutes, I don't want, please take it back. You see, intellect. If you want to go near Murugan, you have to be very intellectual because he will test you. And he will test you where your intellectual skills are tested, your lateral thinking skills are tested, your broad-mindedness are tested. That is why fasting for Kanda Shashti, the 6 days, is a big challenge for a lot of people. 6. Anyway, so let's come to the whale. Right? So that is a symbol of the whale. Understand? Next time you pray to the whale, you see that whale there? Sharp, broad, long stem. Sharp-mindedness, intellectual ability. Broad-mindedness, lateral thinking, depth of character. Gunalaya. Mayil, peacock. Very beautiful animal. Right? But it stands without opening and showing its beauty. That means if you have beauty, you must suppress vanity. You know what is vanity, right? The quality that you must show what you have. I am beautiful, so I show. I am handsome, so I show. I am rich, so I show. No. Only when you suppress what you have, that is vanity. God will keep you close to Him. You have such a beautiful animal, a beautiful bird, right? There's lots of stories about Mayura. But it represents the control of desire. The Mayil, the Mayura, the peacock represents control of desire, the desire to show. Look at my beautiful. Oh, apparently there's a story in the Puranas about the crow, why the crow is black and why the peacock is so beautiful. Right? They were both white once upon a time. So they said, this white thing is very boring. Let's go and paint ourselves. First you paint me. Peacock said to Kagai, right? The crow. You know the crow? Right? Then I will paint you. So the crow painted beautifully the peacock, right? When the peacock saw how beautiful it was, straight away the thought came, no one must be more beautiful than me. So when it came the peacock's turn to paint the crow, it just took a black can of paint and said, yeah, there you go. That is why the crow was made Lord Shanishwara's Vahana. Won't mess with it. Black is beautiful. Right? So anyway, when we do Navagrahas, probably in week 7, I'll touch on the Navagrahas. So, snake held under the peacock is your moha vasanas, your bad doshas. You know, ashta doshas. The snake represents ashta doshas when it is kept under control. But on Shiva, it is at his hands, it is at his neck, it is at his head. That means the snake is not unmanifested energy, it is manifested energy. And I said to you, it represents, cosmic energy. Here, because it is stepped on, it is unmanifested, it represents doshas, opposite. Ashta doshas, that snake represents ashta doshas. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mara, Mamada, Matsarya, Ahamkara. 8 doshas. So, the peacock, by suppressing its own bad points, is able to suppress other moha vasanas. How fantastic is that lesson? Just by a picture, there is so much being conveyed to us. So, the next time you see a mile, you should pray, help me to suppress my vanity. And if I do that, I can also control my other doshas. Okay? And if you see, sometimes he holds a plain staff. If you go there afterwards, when you go around, right, you will see that he sometimes just holds a plain staff. Sometimes, if you are nothing, if you have given up everything, right, it's called Tyaga and Vairagya. You've denounced everything and you become nothing. Just like he denounced everything and he went to Palani and stood. He said, I don't want anything. I will create my own kingdom. And true enough, to this day, every hill you go, there's a Murugan temple somewhere. Right? Murugan means hill. Because to go to a hill is not easy. But when you get there, what you see is Amritam. Right? That's why people walk up all the hills. Even Tirupati, they walk up. And the sense of seeing what at the end waits for you is different when you get VIP treatment and go there. I've experienced all three. When I got married, I got VIP treatment right in front. How long you want, brother, you can sit. Right? But you see, because 3 days wedding was so tiring, right? In front of the Moolasthana, in front of Perumal, sitting there, I could sit for an hour if I wanted to with my wife. I was sleeping. No chance. Second time, I stood in the crowd. 4 or 5 hours. Just wanted to try. I didn't get to see him for 2 minutes. But the moment our eyes made connection, the feeling was different. Third time, some years ago, after my Sabarimala trip, I decided to walk up the hill. At some point. And others have told me this as well. Yeah? When you walk up and you see God, again, completely different feeling. It's like every bit of effort you put, He gives you something in return. Right? So, it's directly, right? The Shakti of the gods is directly proportionate to your bhakti. So, in mathematical terms. Right? How much bhakti you give, that much Shakti you will experience, that much Shakti you will see. So that is Murugan. Murugan is called Guru sometimes. Why? The word Guru. Gu means Gunatita. Ru means Rupa Varjita. Gunatita means one who is above gunas, attributes. Rupa Varjita means one who is beyond forms, formless. By showing you a form, I can also be formless. It can be anything. So Guru is one who is beyond these two attributes. And how he became Guru is his father, Lord Shiva. He is known as a Panchakshara because his mantra is Panchakshari. 5. Nama, Siva, Ya. Right? But his son, Shadhanan, 6 face. Saravana Bhava. 6. So, and of course, Shiva is the unmanifest divinity, unmanifest. And Murugan is the manifest divinity. Now, how do you explain this in ordinary terms? You know, when you open the tap in your house, water comes out. That is manifest energy. Unmanifest is where is the source? Where does it come from? Maybe a sea, a river, an ocean, something like that. So Shiva is that which is everywhere, and Murugan is the manifested version. So unmanifest and manifest. You as a human being, as a Manusha, you have the capacity to make an unmanifested energy become manifested. Right? So, how he became the Guru is, once he went and asked Brahma, explain the meaning of Pranava Om to me. And Brahma couldn't give him a satisfactory response. So he told Brahma, you are not fit to be worshipped as a deity because your knowledge as a creator is incomplete. Okay? So Brahma went and complained to Shiva, can you control your son, please? What we do as parents, isn't it? Straight go to the parents. Right? If we cannot answer that question. So Shiva said, what's your problem with Brahma? So Murugan said, I went and asked him as creator to explain to me the significance of the Pranava mantra, which is Om. Omkara means what? And the other day I told you Akara, Ukara, Makara. Huh? So Shiva said, don't you know? He says, you tell me, to Shiva, you tell me the meaning. Shiva says, I don't know the meaning. But do you know the meaning? Murugan says, yes, I know the meaning. Then Shiva says, tell me. He says, you can't ask like that. If you want knowledge from me, you have to become the disciple and I have to become the teacher. So you become the Shishya and I become the Guru. That is why if you go to the temple called Swami Malai,